boys and girls, we're gonna do something that's truthfully, in my opinion, my research never been done. We're gonna make some real power with a Ford. We're gonna be the first YouTube channel to ever put an LBZ Duramax into an OBS Ford. We're looking at a diehard Ford fan that we've recruited to help us rip apart the absolute immaculate conception of a 1995 F350, but it's for the greater good of the group. We're gonna put a motor in this thing that actually helps it make some power.
It might actually be able to move now. Well, in the future.
Did you bring a Sawzall?
Plasma torch. I thought that's all we were gonna need.
It's gonna get interesting.
We all bleed the same. We all bleed the same.
You can pay $1. I bet $1 it's gonna do one wheel fuel.
One wheel fuel? Alright, that's what I was gonna bet on. I'm gonna bet $1, it doesn't do anything at all.
Alright, well, no, I'll do, no, hell, you can do one wheel.
I bet you 5 Canadian is gonna rip the gnarliest burnout ever.
Listen, Abe, we're in America.
Do you know their money smells like maple syrup? Maybe not that one because it's been in my wallet.
I had COVID, so
I didn't
smell like that
seen
here.
I never even seen it.
Really?
We got $1 on the table, so what's your bet, Jake?
It's gonna do an absolute smoky freaking
What did you
pull
say?
out.
I said no burnout whatsoever.
One wheel fuel.
One wheel peel. Now we find out for ourselves.
This already smells like it's gonna be bad.
Well, looks like we're gonna need the skid steer to put it in the shop.
I think we have an issue.
Oh, sorry, sorry.
It's got a check engine light. Who knew they made those back in the day?
What do you mean, you got a check engine light now?
Battery's gonna die.
Can't go any more than I am.
Good thing we have a winch on that trailer. Oh wait, we took it off. Crap.
That was, we literally all lost our money.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, the shop gets it at this point.
Literally all lost our money.
Dude, I think I know what's wrong with it.
Ain't got no gas in it.
Can't beat an evening stroll with my best buddy.
This thing really scoots, bro. What'd you do to it?
It's got a factory Ford engine in it, that's the problem.
If this isn't like the embodiment of all Fords ever, I don't know what is.
Found on road,
Dead.
done.
Can't beat it. Have a good trip. I've been going to the gym for the past 4 years for this exact reason. Hold my beer.
All right, guys, so I'm really excited about this video. I've been teasing it for quite a while now, and I'm gonna jump right into it. The goal all along for the 95 crew cab long bed with red interior, F350 OBS, non-power stroke, was to buy it, to convert it to not a Cummins, which is essentially the most popular diesel engine motor swap to exist. I wanted to do something a little bit different, and being that I'm DURTYMAX Jack, I wanted to take an OBS that's absolutely immaculate, two-wheel drive with a 5.8 liter in it, that's completely worthless and essentially deemed a paperweight at this point in time, and convert it to a Duramax. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you could correct me if I'm wrong and definitely link the channel in the description below, but from my research, and Hunter's research, and Jake's research, we're gonna be the first YouTube channel to ever put an LBZ Duramax into an OBS Ford. Because I just wouldn't have the heart to rip one apart. If it was maintained and preserved from that generation, I'd almost want to leave it that way. Whereas, when the right opportunity pops up to buy a crew cab like this, I'm going to jump on it immediately and do something very, very similar because it's just purely badass. Henry Ford, I know you're rolling over in your grave for this, especially because we're over at a Ford enthusiast's house, which we recruited to do this project with Hunter Zimmerman, who's extremely talented with fabrication. And we are starting it right now. And it's got a dead 5.8 liter in it. Didn't do a burnout. We lost all of our money. It's fine. A little bit of coolant here, boys.
Oh, a little bit. What is it? Brake fluid?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I was working it pretty hard, building up a lot of pressure.
Answer. Blew the power steering lid off.
Have that.
Makes Way too much power to be contained, obviously. All right, guys, so the motor is actually on its way out from Ohio. We ended up partnering up with Hicksville Duramax for the lending LBZ that we're gonna be using to mock up this entire engine swap. So this whole crazy idea kind of somewhat originated from the desire to have an old vehicle. Hunter's got a lot of really awesome old trucks, including this F100 that has a 12 valve in it behind us. We had actually reviewed that truck on the channel. God, I think it was like 2 years ago. I'm gonna link it right up above if you guys wanna go check that out. And he's also got a 68 with a modern day 6.7 liter frame, interior, and powertrain. It's a really badass truck, and Hunter is an essential part of making this entire engine swap possible, because as much as I would like to say I could take it on from start to finish, I just truthfully don't have the qualified fabrication abilities to actually make it happen. I would have no idea how to measure something out, how to even obtain the materials. I could probably figure that out, but to handle the whole process and to have it done right so we can actually enjoy this truck and make some power, which is down the road, that'll have to save itself for another video. I wanted to make sure that it was done right. Plus, gives us a really great opportunity to just hang out with local Lancaster County enthusiasts and to basically do exactly this. Kind of brings me back to when I was young. We were all just kind of hanging out in the garage tinkering. At the time it was dirt bikes and cars, but now it's OBSs that are absolutely immaculate that came out of the Carolinas. You guys have seen this truck. If you haven't already, check out some of the previous videos on it. It is truly rust free, and it was almost like it was insulated in a protected bubble since 1995 February, to be exact, when it was manufactured. And that brings us all back to the reason why I did not buy a Power Stroke. A, I didn't want to pay for it, and B, I truly didn't want to take a 7.3, which is an iconic motor, and end up ultimately scrapping it. I wouldn't scrap it, but selling it or whatever the case was. I didn't want to pay top dollar for a truck that I was going to end up making way better than a 7.3 Power Stroke anyway. All right. I know they're novelty things. They're slow as snails, but it's okay. I like to make power, 8-ball super fast, and ultimately I wanted to make this truck pretty quick itself. Putting an LBZ Duramax in it will get us in the right direction. So I got to give a huge shout out to Hicksville Duramax for coming through with an entire pull. They're providing the PCM, the ECM, the accelerator pedal, the full engine with harness, turbo, intakes, and everything included, a 4-wheel drive transfer case, and a 6-speed Allison transmission. Without them, this entire project wouldn't be possible, because ultimately once this 5.8 liters removed, we need to begin the drop-in transplant to see how well this Duramax fits. We've done some, rough measurements within the few inches. We should be okay. Who needs precision in something like this anyway? And all things considered, we should be good to go. Now, if you guys don't know about Hicksville Duramax, they're essentially a scrapyard specific for Duramax enthusiasts, and while this is a Duramax channel, diesel in general, but you guys get the point. If you guys need any parts, you should definitely hit them up. Bunch of really cool people over there. They're all enthusiasts at the end of the day too. They just get to play with trucks, kind of just like we are right now. Now, before we grab the wrenches and start to dig into that truck, I do want to let you guys know that you can win this truck right here. It's a 2022 F250 Platinum. It's literally only got a few hundred miles on it. It's been converted to Air Ride. It's got one of 2 Air Ride kits to ever exist from Flight Fab in the entire world, and it's up for grabs with $30,000 in cash. So if you guys want to grab your entries for a chance to take that thing home, it's really simple. Hit that link in the description below, enthusiast.com. Explore getting entered, and who knows, we might be seeing you mid-May to hand over the keys, the title, and the cash for that freaking thing right there. It's honestly one of the most beautiful trucks that we've ever built, and I'm grateful to say we build a lot of trucks all the time, but this one right here, it's in a complete league of its own.
Dumb and Dumber cleanups on fluids. It's actually wickedly efficient.
You gotta go duck footed though.
So the body's absolutely immaculate on the thing. Cross member looks decent. For those of you guys that don't know, I just recently learned this. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm some sort of an expert. Yeah, there's a water collection spot right at each mount to the frame. So there's one there and one here. Not terrible. I don't really know if it's worth replacing them. Like this one is, it's a little rusty, but I'm talking like, guys, these things fall apart on these trucks. All things considered, I think we're gonna stick with the factory cross member. Thing looks completely fine. So we're pulling the pit maneuver, boys. Yep, seems legit.
Yeah, that's it. I thought the same thing. I was like, I'm pretty heavy. I don't know what the weight limit is. But
It flexes a little bit
I don't want to be
too.
the one to find out what the max gross weight limit is on that.
So how are we looking down there, bro? Hey, nice. I was looking for one of those. How is this thing this clean though? So did you notice that the guy like painted every single bolt
I
silver?
think he painted the bell housing and the trains.
Yeah, but I think he actually used a brush
Yeah.
to paint the bolts silver. And I mean, the chassis has been coated here like this right here.
Yep.
You can like see the brush strokes. He actually did the brake lines in the rear too. I would say I'd look at them, but this thing's 100,000 foot long, so I can't get back there. He even did these bolts. Look right there. It's straight pipe now. I'd start it, but it doesn't work.
It might run now.
It might.
These motor mites might work really well.
This thing has mites?
Might. It might.
No, motor mites. He said
might.
motor mites and he doesn't even know it.
Oh, did I say mites? It might.
Motor mounts. That's what you're looking
Why is it leaking oil?
I didn't put this in the whole way. I took all the oil out,
Oh,
but it still has
I
some.
was gonna say, did I do that?
No, but the on his truck, there's a flat. Like this is way different than a newer Ford. I should take some measurements in your truck before you leave. Yes, sure. Out of curiosity.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna try and get this thing out.
Yep. All right, boys. We got a chain in an ever so extremely legitimate fashion hooked up to this motor here, and we're gonna work on trying to pull it out. There's an eye hole right here for the one side of the chain. The other side, just don't worry about it. It's hooked up really legitimately. It's super safe, super secure. It's ready to rock and roll. We summon you.
Move left to right, show me what you moving like. Ooh, feeling right, keep it moving side to side. Ooh, roll the dice. Oh, you wanna try? Ooh, left to right. Hey, it's time to slide. What you know about this? I woke up like this. Hey, I just did my hammer dance. I'm feeling too legit. Hey, I gave him too much sauce. I tried to wipe it off. I did it on my way out the window. I hear him saying, ooh, la la, oh my. Say what? Say ooh. Okay. Move left to right. Show me what you moving like. Ooh, feeling right. Keep it moving side to side. Ooh.
Well, that way if it does fall, it has something catching it now.
All right, go ahead.
How's that bolt? Is that bolt holding together pretty good?
It's not bent yet.
Yes.
Go ahead. Try.
It's concrete at the bottom. So. Oh, dude, hold on. What do we got here? All the training fluid.
Woo! Yeah, I mean, we got about 50% of it in the bucket.
Oh, we're at least at 51.
Look at that dinosaur. Oh,
All right, go ahead. Swing it over.
there's still a significant amount of trans fluid coming out.
Yeah.
There. Now take it.
Yeah, there we go. We caught so much of it. We're doing great.
Well, that thing was all trans fluid. Huh?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
You got rags anywhere?
Oh my god, it's coming from everywhere!
I probably will. should drain the transmission fluid first.
What? Who does such a thing?
Yeah, it's right there. What do
We
you
just
mean
took the unconventional method. Motor is out, boys. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, boys, the motor is out, and that's about to wrap up tonight's shenanigans. We are semi-optimistic that we were going to be able to get that big old brick out, and we did. We had some help. Got to give a big shout out to Logan and Hunter that came through to add a hand to this task. We were definitely determined to get it out, and we're happy that we did, because now we have the foundation to make this truck great again. Small little plug. Kind of had to do it. It's really crazy, though, because whoever owned this truck prior to my acquisition probably wouldn't be all that pleased with what it is that we did, because we did take essentially a showroom quality truck in its completely original, completely novelty state and somewhat butchered it, but it's for the greater good of the group, right? I mean, am I not wrong? The fact that he painted the head of essentially every single bolt kind of boggles my mind, and I'm not really sure if this is like a never sees or like a rust off or something along those lines, but every single bolt head that was exposed was covered. But now that we've got an open slate, we can begin the process of retrofitting a Duramax into an OBS. This is gonna be the sickest OBS on the entire internet. I'm somewhat biased, but it's gonna be so sick.
It's already the sickest on the internet.
It is, without a question.
Faster than most of the ones on the internet as well.
Especially the 7.3 boys.
Did I say that out loud?
And as far as this thing, who the hell knows what's wrong with it, guys? I've got a great motor up for sale, though. If anybody wants to try and figure out what's wrong with it, definitely contact me. I'm happy to sell it to you.
Oh, that thing.
Unit!